with this season underway. With top speeds of around 210 miles per hour heading into the overtaking opportunity of turn 13, the 2.7 miles of the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve are some of the quickest on the Formula One calendar. There are 14 corners in total, with 60% of the lap taken at full throttle, and average lap speeds clock in at about 130 miles per hour. A tough race in store then for our drivers today, so tell me, Anthony Davidson, what will you be looking out for as the cars make their way down into turn 1?
Well, first of all, let's hope that everyone's well behaved and we can have a nice incident-free start. That initial release is going to be the most interesting thing. The clean side of the grid will be better rubbered in, so keep an eye out for cars over there potentially making their way through.
Well then, after an exciting qualifying session yesterday, let's take a look at how the cars line up. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and Valtteri Bottas will line up alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Raikkonen, Vettel, Max Verstappen and Ricciardo, Hülkenberg, Perez, Sainz and Roman Grosjean, Magnussen, Alonso, Esteban Ocon and Leclerc, Gasly, Ericsson, Brendan Hartley and Sergei Sorokin. Van Dorn and Lance Stroll rounds off the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down.
Here we are in Canada, revving up 4 or 5 lights now here in Canada, and it's lights out and away we go. And Ricciardo gets a massive burnout. Hamilton gets off well. Kimi Räikkönen gets off to an incredible start here into turn 1. Hamilton locks up. He locks up badly, and he hits Verstappen. Vettel's lost the place to Verstappen. Ricciardo's still in P6. It goes Räikkönen, Bottas, Hamilton, Verstappen, Vettel. Ricciardo is now Perez and Hülkenberg going side by side into the next corner. Nearly makes contact. Look at this. They're nearly side by side, but Perez gets out in front. The two Haas very close to each other. Look at that. Charles Leclerc going around the outside of Pierre Gasly, nearly goes into the wall. They're going to go side by side into the next corner, as Ericsson is behind them now. Down the inside goes Charles Leclerc. They're still side by side. Leclerc gets it front. He's going to use the Ferrari power. Here comes Marcus Ericsson. Is it going to be enough? Not quite. Leclerc nearly makes contact with Gasly. They're still side by side. Leclerc goes around the outside. Gasly goes down the inside. Now they're going down the straight, and it looks like Leclerc, he still has the inside, goes down the inside of Pierre Gasly, does Charles Leclerc. Here comes Brendan Hartley now on the Sauber of Marcus Ericsson, and Stoffel Van Dorn is behind them, looking to possibly get some place to settle. Gasly pushes Leclerc to the grass, but Leclerc's not quite done yet. Here he goes into the slipstream. He's gonna pull out. He's gonna go side by side. Who is gonna be the latest on the brakes? Leclerc gets in front. Down the inside goes Charles Leclerc. Will Gasly hold around the outside? Yes, he will. They're gonna go incredibly slow. They're still side by side. Now they go down the straight. Who's gonna come out in front? We're not too sure as we look further up the field, as Daniel Ricciardo seems to have overtaken Sebastian Vettel. Daniel Ricciardo overtakes Sebastian Vettel. What a crazy start to this race. Now, as we watch Verstappen, and now we're going to watch a replay on exactly how Daniel Ricciardo overtook Sebastian Vettel. He lost the back end on the back of that corner. But look at this. He's very close to Seb. Surely not from there. And he's going to go for it anyways. What a move from Daniel Ricciardo. What a dive bomb into the hairpin. That was a long, long way back. Into the hairpin. Caught Vettel napping, but Vettel's going to come back at him with that Ferrari power. Is it going to be enough? Because Ricciardo also has his teammate Slipstream. It doesn't look like it. Vettel's right on behind him, but can't make the overtake. Ricciardo overtakes him and cuts the corner a little bit. Brilliant stuff from Daniel Ricciardo to move up into 5th place, as Sebastian Vettel, who's looking to possibly close down the championship, Lewis Hamilton's championship lead, is now losing more places and more points with it, as the Red Bulls are looking oddly competitive after some recent races where they haven't been quite where they might want it to be. As you can see, now here comes Kimi Räikkönen flying along. It's this next corner. Kimi Räikkönen holding the lead from Bottas, who seems to be keeping that gap pretty consistent, but it looks like he's losing a bit of time there, as Hamilton is keeping the gap steady to Bottas, as Verstappen here seems to be losing time and touch with those Mercedes and the one Ferrari of Kimi Räikkönen. Sorry, this is actually Daniel Ricciardo, but at the same time it does show the straight line advantage that they have, as Sebastian Vettel is now caught up back up to the back of Daniel Ricciardo. Is he going to be able to make this overtake onto the straight? Ricciardo gets a very strong exit with that Red Bull. Now they go down the straight. Red Bull, it does lack a bit of straight line speed, but Vettel is a bit too far back to make any kind of overtaking attempt here. Into the final chicane they go. Sergio Perez is actually surprisingly keeping that gap pretty close to Ricciardo given his car. Perez doing an astonishing job at the moment. As you can see, Sergei Sorokin's made up places. Stroll has not made up too many places as he's down in the last year in his home Grand Prix. Unfortunate stuff for him, but Sorokin has made up a few places. Here comes Raikkonen flying through the quick right-hander. Now they go through the chicane. Valtteri Bottas going on board with him here. He's struggling to keep up with Kimi. That Ferrari didn't look so quick in qualifying, but it seems to be a bit better on its tires. It has a little bit better straight line speed. Can Ferrari win this race? Sebastian Vettel is not looking like he's gonna win this race as he's stuck behind the two Red Bulls. And despite having possibly the best car, maybe not the best car, but it is certainly one that could possibly go for the race win. It does seem like he's going to really struggle with that if he does want to go for that race win, because he is stuck behind the Red Bulls and actually looks like he's losing time to Daniel Ricciardo here, who's actually caught up to the back of his teammate. Look at this, here goes Ricciardo, right on the outside of Max Verstappen. Who's going to be later on the race? It's going to be Ricciardo. No, he has to go straight on. He has to go straight on. He couldn't make it stick. Broke a little bit too late. Verstappen didn't give the room, and now that's allowed Sebastian Vettel to get through. From Daniel Ricciardo, frustrating stuff from Ricciardo. He's not going to be too happy with that one. But he's going to get his head down and try and re-overtake either Vettel or Verstappen, or possibly both of them, because he clearly has a lot of pace at this stage of the race. But the two Red Bulls going for it. And now look at that, he's caught up to the back of Vettel here, using that Red Bull chassis through the corners. He's going to have DRS on this next straight, so he's going to really be pushing to catch and pass Vettel. But it's going to be even harder to pass Vettel because of that Ferrari straight line speed, and Vettel's going to have DRS from Verstappen. So this could be very challenging for Ricciardo, but he's gotten over bigger challenges before in the past. Now through the hairpin they go. Sergio Perez is caught up, as has Nico Hülkenberg, I believe. Carlos Sainz seems to be losing touch as he's defending from the Haas's of Magnussen and Grosjean, and there down the inside I saw further back as the Haas of, that is Magnussen. That must have been Grosjean further up. It looks like Magnussen is struggling big time because he's behind Alonso. He touches the grass there. I think he has a problem because there's no way he's lost all that time in well, such a short amount of time, but actually he's pulled ahead on the straight there using that Ferrari power. As there they go, it's a turn one. Is Valtteri Bottas and Kimi Räikkönen. They're going to go side by side. Kimi's looking in his mirrors. Now here comes Bottas. Around the outside, they make contact. Kimi Räikkönen's back down the inside. They make contact again. Valtteri Bottas takes the lead of the race. Now we're going to watch a replay of how Bottas got past. He's using the DRS, using the slipstream. He's down the inside of turn one, around the outside of turn two. And then he gets a better exit because Kimi's on that tighter line. And actually, look at that. He goes round the outside. Look at that gap around the outside of Raikkonen. They make a bit of contact there. And then he goes back down the inside. Great overtake from Valtteri Bottas. Nearly goes onto the grass there. And there he is into the lead of the race. Lewis Hamilton's now on the back of Raikkonen. Looks like everything's going sour for Ferrari at the moment, who came into this weekend hoping to win, because look at that. Ricciardo's on the back of Vettel. And Perez and Hülkenberg are on the back of Vettel too. So that is Vettel. Just one mistake could cost him 4 places there. As look at this, Sorokin's losing so much time and so many places. Lance Stroll's now caught up to the back of him. His teammate in the other Williams, as Stoffel van Dorn's really struggling compared to his teammate Fernando Alonso, who's further up the field. Now Bottas in the lead of the race from Raikkonen. Now Kimi has the DRS. Raikkonen has the DRS. He's going down the straight. It's not going to be enough. Can he get a good enough exit off this final corner? Hamilton also has the DRS, but it doesn't seem like it's enough for him either. Now they go down the straight. Kimi Räikkönen's a bit too far back on Bottas. Unfortunate stuff from Räikkönen to not be able to re-overtake Bottas, because now it looks like Valtteri is pulling away a little bit. Through there, look at that, going nice and close to the wall. Not as close actually as I was expecting, but he is pushing very hard as Bottas. He wants to keep this race win, but and hopefully come back in a championship that is not going so well for him. As there goes Daniel Ricciardo down the inside of Sebastian Vettel. Is it going to work out? Not quite. Vettel's struggling big time here. Does he have a car problem? Vettel has DRS now. Ricciardo's trying to defend there from Sergio Perez. I swear Vettel must have a problem because he's losing so much time, unless that's all caused by the battle with Daniel Ricciardo. Now they go down the straight, flying along, braking hard as Vettel into this hairpin. Now Ricciardo's gonna have the DRS though. He's got a pretty strong exit. And that is so unfortunate for Seb if he does have a problem. If he's just this slow in terms of pace, that would be just very unfortunate. But look at how much time he's lost in just a few laps. Now they go down the straight. Ricciardo's a bit too far back, and he can't make it work. Unfortunate stuff from Ricciardo. But now he's got the DRS again. Now so does Perez and Hulkenberg, but they're a bit too far back. Is Ricciardo going to send one down the inside? No, he's still too far back. Vettel locks up! Sebastian Vettel locks up into turn 1, but he makes it work. It's compromised his exit a little bit, but he makes it work. This is incredible racing here. Vettel locks up, makes a little mistake there. That could have been more costly than maybe it seemed. But here's Ricciardo still on the back of him. The Red Bull has some decent pace today. It seems like the Mercedes has the best car, and the Ferraris and Red Bulls are really battling to see who has the second best car. I'd say Ferrari a little bit better, but honestly, Red Bull have quite a lot of pace. At the moment, just the lack of straight line speed is costing them big time, and Ricciardo must be so frustrated that his off-track excursion has cost him the place to Vettel, and now a lot of time to his teammate who's way up the road. As they go through the hairpin onto the straight, Ricciardo looks like he might have actually lost time to Vettel here. He's going to open up the DRS, but he's just a bit too far back to make anything work. He's way too far back. Vettel may have gotten his problem fixed or something, because now he is flying, and it looks like Vettel's coming to the pits, as does Sergio Perez. And here comes Hamilton as well. And now trying to keep up with everyone on the track. Esteban Ocon defending from the Renault. It looks like he must have made that overtake, because I believe the Renaults were in front of the Force Indias. But down the inside goes Daniel Ricciardo. Ricciardo actually pit before. Then that must have been Verstappen that Vettel was battling. Here comes Vettel round the outside of Charles Leclerc. They go side by side. Vettel gets in front. So that must have been Verstappen they were battling. Vettel caught up and overtook Verstappen. I got mixed up between the two Red Bulls because I forgot that Ricciardo had already come to the pits. My bad, guys. Anyways, out of the pits comes Lance Stroll, who we are for some reason on board with, as there's yellow flags here. There's yellow flags. What could that mean? I'm not entirely sure. Unfortunate stuff for whoever might be out of this race. But Vettel, what a move for Vettel to overtake that Sauber, and now he's going to go in pursuit. And that made me realize that actually Daniel Ricciardo has undercut Max Verstappen, because Verstappen was battling Vettel and lost time with that, because now Ricciardo has undercut him, and that must be so frustrating for Max Verstappen. Not sure why Red Bull gave him the undercut. It looks like they just wanted him to overtake Vettel, but it's backfired now, because Vettel's come out in front. Ricciardo's on the back of Vettel here. Can't make it work. He touches the grass a little bit. That's unfortunate for him. As out of the pits, there is a Mercedes of who I'm not too sure. Is that Hamilton or Bottas? I'm not too sure, but Vettel has caught up to a Mercedes, something I did not expect was going to happen. But Verstappen, frustratingly for him, has come out behind his teammate, and he must be fuming under the crash helmet. There's Ricciardo sliding everywhere on the cold tire. He's lost so much time there. I believe that is Valtteri Bottas, who has lost out big time by the undercut. He's been undercut by both Hamilton and Kimi Räikkönen, I believe. Now, I'm not 100% sure about that. As Ricciardo touches the grass on the exit there, he's losing so much time to his teammate here. Here comes Max Verstappen. Ricciardo goes defensive. Verstappen's late on the brakes, round the outside. He's not going to make this one work. Round the outside goes Verstappen. It didn't quite work out, but Bottas has lost massive time here, and now he might get overtaken by Vettel, which would be incredible, as Verstappen's on the back of Ricciardo. As Ricciardo seems to not have gotten as good an exit. Now they go down this next straight. The two Red Bulls are battling. Once again, down the inside goes Max Verstappen. Ricciardo touches the grass. Verstappen makes it work. Down the inside of his teammates. On the fresher tires, it looks like maybe they were actually trying to help Max by putting him on the fresher tires at the end of the race, because they knew how bad the tire wear was. I'm not too sure, but Ricciardo's going to come back at Verstappen. And here he goes. Down the inside, not quite going to make it work. Red Bull have said that they're going to continue to let their drivers race even after the incident at Australia. And these two guys, they battled in Australia, they battled in China, and here again in Canada, they are battling. as Ricciardo touches the curb. These two Red Bull drivers are so close in skill. It's incredible to watch them. Into the braking zone now they go through the hairpin. On the exit now, Ricciardo goes a bit wide. There's yellow flags there. Not too sure why. Down the straight they go, and it looks like an Alpha is out of the race. Down the inside goes Daniel Ricciardo into the chicane. He doesn't make it work. These two Red Bulls nearly crashed. That could have been a disaster for them. Here comes Ricciardo again. Not quite. He fakes to the outside, goes down the inside. Just Daniel Ricciardo. Verstappen breaks later though and holds him off. This is an incredible battle between the two Red Bulls. Great stuff between them now. This is letting the top runners pull away. Look at that. Fernando Alonso has put himself up into 8th place. Surely not. That is absolutely incredible from Fernando Alonso. And that McLaren that was really struggling all weekend, his teammate is down near last place. Yeah, look at that. Out of the pits comes Charles Leclerc, I believe, unless Leclerc's the one that DNF'd. I'm not entirely sure. As they come out the corner now, looks like the Ferrari's pretty close. As Ricciardo's outbroken himself, he's taking the very wide line through the hairpin, and looks like he's really losing time to his teammate now. This is not good for Ricciardo if he wants to beat his teammate today. He must be so frustrated. He nearly made it work into turn 1, but then Verstappen just broke impossibly late. Through the chicane, they're flying. Ricciardo really using a lot of curb. He loses the back end, but he has the DRS and the slipstream. Will it be enough? Will it be enough? Look at how close Verstappen and Ricciardo nearly hits the wall there. That's incredible precision from Daniel Ricciardo. I thought Max was going close to the wall, and then I saw Ricciardo. That was incredible. Again going close to the wall. Yeah, is that Fernando Alonso in front of Carlos Sainz? Great job from Fernando. And here comes Van Dorn battling Charles Leclerc. Van Dorn's gotten overtaken. Round the outside goes Charles Leclerc. Great little overtake from the Sauber. Late on the brakes. Great stuff. As we are going through the field here. Down the straight goes Ricciardo into the chicane now. He's flying out the exit. Here he is. Look at the exit he gets. Look at this from Daniel Ricciardo. I didn't think he didn't realize he was that close. Here he goes. Now he's gonna break later. Ricciardo goes defensive there. Look at that. Late moves from Ricciardo, but he pulls it off cleanly and brilliantly. Great stuff. Great stuff. Verstappen probably very frustrated that Ricciardo has re-overtaken him. Great move from Daniel Ricciardo. Ooh, he loses the back end though. That's going to give Verstappen a chance here with the slipstream. Here he goes down the straight now. I believe he has the DRS open. They're going to go side by side into the next corner. Late on the brakes goes Max Verstappen. What an overtake. What an overtake from Verstappen. Incredible stuff. Late braking from Max Verstappen. Round the outside of Ricciardo. Is Ricciardo going to send one down the inside? Not quite. Into the hairpin they go. These two Red Bulls really battling out the pits here after the pit stops. Now they go down the straight. Verstappen gets a very strong exit out of the hairpin. They go down the straight. Ricciardo has the slipstream and DRS. He's a bit too far back to make a move. He's having a look to the inside. Look at that. Look at that from Ricciardo. Look at the way he can just juke Verstappen. Great racecraft from Ricciardo. Round the outside now. He goes with the DRS open. Who is going to be latest on the brakes? Down the inside goes Ricciardo. Verstappen's round the outside. Verstappen's so good on the brakes through turn 1. And Max Verstappen retakes 5th place. These two Red Bulls battling for a 3-point difference. And they have nearly crashed 4 times now as on the front wing of Ricciardo we go. Great racing from these two guys. Now they exit onto the straight. Ricciardo loses the back and he's struggling on those tires. Of course, he pit before everyone else, so he's going to really struggle, and there's still quite a few laps left in this race. Really pushing it on the curbs here. Ricciardo nearly goes into the wall there. But somehow, despite all the sliding around, he is still keeping up with his teammates. And look at that, how late he is on the brakes for the hairpin, but Max really is able to nail that exit. It seems Ricciardo's able to take more speed through the chicane, and it looks like Ricciardo's actually got a decent exit this time around. But yeah, last time out, Ricciardo just made sure Verstappen was on the defensive line. But anyways, down the inside goes Daniel Ricciardo. It's the chicane, late braking. Oh, Verstappen's round the outside. Ricciardo had to leave the space for his teammate, or else they would have crashed. Now they're side by side again down the straight. Ricciardo has the DRS again, going defensive. Verstappen gonna try the switchback. Ricciardo's on the inside, and now Verstappen has the inside. Great stuff from the two of them. But as I said before, Ricciardo just made sure Verstappen went defensive on the inside, and then he broke early so that he could really get a good exit. That was a couple laps ago, though. This time, that was a great overtake from Ricciardo. Ran the outside, back down the inside for turn 1 so that Verstappen couldn't brake later than him. Look at that sliding, 4-wheel sliding there, and it's costing Ricciardo big time. They're struggling so much in that corner, struggling with the tires. Now goes round the outside, goes Max Verstappen, who's the latest on the brakes. It's gonna be Verstappen around the outside. Now they go into the exits. These two have lost so much time to the cars in front, but somehow they've gained so much time on the cars behind. Now into the hairpin. Ricciardo's a little bit later on the brakes, and he turns in a bit earlier than Max, which seems to be costing him a little bit on the exit. Now they go down the straight. Is Ricciardo gonna be able to re-overtake his teammate? They're going down the straight. His teammate goes defensive into the chicane. He's made the same mistake as last time. Now they go down the straight. Here comes Daniel Ricciardo. He's tucked into the slipstream. He goes to the outside for turn 1. Around the outside goes Ricciardo. He touches the grass, but Verstappen breaks a bit later. Ricciardo has the inside for the next corner. Not quite gonna work out. Verstappen just seems to be able to brake that little bit later for turn 1. Ricciardo just doesn't seem to be able to do it as he cuts the corner there. Ooh, that could have ended very badly, but he's kept the car pointed in a straight line. Now they go down the straight. Ricciardo opens up the DRS. It seems when he's behind Verstappen, he's not sliding everywhere, but when he's in front of him, he is sliding everywhere. Very interesting stuff as now they go through that second chicane onto this mini straight right before the hairpin. Ricciardo using that slipstream to get nearer to his teammates. Great battle between the Red Bulls. Now they go into the exit. Is he going to open up the DRS? Is he going to be able to overtake Verstappen? Now they go down the straight. Flying here are the two Red Bulls, but it looks like Max Verstappen has really pulled out that gap. Ricciardo's tires are finished, and he's using the DRS to stay in touch with Verstappen. And look at how much faster he is through the chicane. He's sliding everywhere, but that just shows how fast he's going, how hard he's pushing. Is he going to dive bomb one from back there? No, he's a bit too far back. Oh, he's taking a slightly different line to Verstappen, really prioritizing the exit so that he can stay near Verstappen on exit into this quick chicane. Nice and close to the wall goes Ricciardo. Great stuff. Down to this next corner, into this next chicane. Ricciardo sliding absolutely everywhere. You just can't keep the car in a straight line anymore. Those tires are completely finished. Now into this next chicane. And oh, look at that. He's onto the grass there as Ricciardo. He's giving it everything he's got. He wants to catch his teammate, but he just can't keep his car under control. Look at how late on the brakes he is. And it's cost him on the exit there, but man, he went late on the brakes. For the hairpin. Now they go down the straight. He's going to open up the DRS. He's going to get into that slipstream. And that's allowing him to, look at how much it's allowing him to close up. It's a turn into the final chicane. Verstappen locks up. He has a double lockup. Ricciardo takes 5th place. Incredible stuff, Max Verstappen. That looks like it's just cost him 5th place. A stupid mistake yet again. Every time whenever his teammate seems to be behind him or ready to overtake him, Verstappen makes some stupid mistake. And Max is going to be very angry about that. He's going to give it absolutely everything. Esteban Ocon is behind the Williams. The Williams have made up a ton of places. Look at that. Kimi Räikkönen has pulled away from Hamilton. Seems like the pace on the ultra soft tires for Kimi was much better because Vettel has actually lost time to Bottas. So I'm not entirely sure what's going on there. But anyways, Ricciardo's sliding everywhere. He has no tires left. He's been complaining about that on the radio. And look at this, how much Verstappen's able to just catch up. Look at that from Ricciardo. He's nearly put it into the wall. Now Max Verstappen has closed up the 2-second gap on the final lap of the race. Here he comes around the outside. Ricardo's late breaking into the corner. They make contact. They make contact as Ricardo loses the back end. That's gonna give Verstappen. Oh my God! They make more contact. This is just not what Christian Horner probably wants to see. But here comes Ricardo now on the back of Verstappen in that slipstream. Verstappen has the DRS. Verstappen goes defensive. Ricardo's gonna go for this switchback. They're gonna go side by side with the line. Who's gonna take fifth place? They're side by side. Verstappen just about in front. It's a photo finish. It's a Max Verstappen who beats out Daniel Ricciardo.
A great win then for the Maranello team today. So, how exactly did they set themselves apart from the pack today?
I feel like consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. And that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
So, here they come now, out onto the podium. Wherever you go, anywhere in the world, the prancing horse flags are dominant in the grandstands, and they're out in force again today. It's Ferrari on the top step once more. And after this round of the World Championship, here's how things look in the drivers' table. Well, the gap at the top of the championship has been cut down after a difficult race today for our championship leader. And now I'd like to ask you, Anthony Davidson, who was your driver of the day?
Let's give it to Lance Stroll. That was a quality drive from start to finish. He can be proud of that one.
On to the constructors then. It was a tough race for our championship leaders who lose ground at the top of the table. Meanwhile, Toro Rosso's strong weekend allows them to continue their march up the table. There'll be plenty more twists and turns to come this season. I hope you can join us at the next race to see just who will come out on top.